Today I've got a 2000 Mercedes-Benz ML350 and I'm going to be doing a transmission replacement on this one. This is going to be a really long job just because there are so many things that must come off and obviously get put back on again. The entire exhaust is going to come off. The propeller shaft has to come off. There are a couple of heat shields and I need the vehicle that needs to come off as well. The cross member support for the transmission has to come off as well. And the transfer case has to come off obviously with the transmission. So there's a lot of components to this. So it's going to be pretty much raw footage. Now, I think it's going to be exciting though. So if there's any portion of the video that you want to look at, you might have to scroll through the video and kind of go to that portion just because it's going to be a long video. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome to another video on Microscope. The first three things I'm going to do. The first thing, most important thing, disconnect the battery negative. Okay, we don't want to mistakenly touch anything and getting a short circuit going through a module because there are a lot of modules on this vehicle. Put the transmission in neutral. Release the parking brake. All right, so we got to take all these off. These can come out of the bracketry here. That's recession areas. Okay. Can come out of here. Just pry this out. Okay. All right. We don't need to take off the oxygen sensors. They can stay where they are. This one here though, it's in a little clip. We can pull that out when we get to that point, but because when we take the exhaust off with this oxygen sensor attached to it, we've got to take it out of that clip so we can move the whole exhaust, okay? But apart from that, the sensor itself can stay in the exhaust. I got to take off all these wiring. Okay, not a good idea to pull on these too much. Might just need like a flathead to get in there and pry that out. I do have to take this connector off. But I can worry about that later for now. But now we need to take this bracket off from the side. It's a bracket right here. Let me bring socket to take this off. We need a E10, okay? We need an E socket to take that off. This is E10. Okay, to take those off. Well, actually, only this one here in the back needs to come off because this one is actually for supporting the transmission oil pan. So only this one really needs to come off for now. Okay, so this one can stay on. This one can stay on. Okay. We got to make sure we bag all these bolts and parts because we don't want to deal with missing parts when we're ready to put this on. I hate that. All right. Now this bracket here, it's got one bolt here. Looks like an E10. And then there should be another bolt on the other side Yes, no, maybe not, no. Just one bolt on that side, the other side. So I'm going to take that off. And then I'm going to take this whole bracket off, okay? E10. Now, thinking about it again, this is an E10. Might actually be an E12. It's not a 10, it's a 12. All right, it's an E12. I need to get a U extension. Need both fingers on either side of this to help get it out. Okay. Get the oxygen sensor wiring out of that hook. All right. So that's it. The bracket right there. All right. So now that the brackets for the wiring are off, we need to take the entire exhaust system off. So for that to come off, I'm going to take these two bolts off because I'm going to be able to drop this exhaust over here, this in the way. And then I'm going to take this off also so we can get the exhaust down. And then obviously there are some other supports here, right here, right here. And then some supports here in the back, one here, one here. And then one there. And then one on the other side, right here, okay? And then the exhaust will be done. Well, obviously, we do have to take the bolts off at the exhaust manifold down there, but that's what we're left to do now. So I'll go ahead and take these off. Now, taking off these mounts are easy, but the exhaust is heavy, so I think it'll be smart to get some help when taking these off. You might want to get somebody to kind of maybe hold that side for you, so you can while you try to take the mounts off, because this is heavy. Okay. I've taken something like this off before, but I had to use bungee cords, and I'll tell you, it wasn't very smart. So don't do it. A job like this, definitely not. You can see now the exhaust is basically resting, okay, on this piece here. And then I gotta take off the other bolt. So the exhaust pretty much off. The oxygen sensors get to stay in the exhaust when you take the exhaust off. You don't need to pull the oxygen sensors, okay? You just need to disconnect them and that's it. They can just stay on the exhaust. So now everything is pretty much off. Now I need to take off this supporting member here and then take off the other one right here, okay? Okay, and then the exhaust is ready to fall, okay? All right, so let's do that. Of course, the Oxygen sensor wiring needs to be removed from the bracket that holds it in place and prevent it from touching the exhaust. So that needs to be removed. This wiring right here is being restrained by a bracket, like a clip. That clip needs to be pushed back so this can be free. Okay. All right. Now this is ready to fall. I'm gonna go take this off, loosen this, take this off, get my tool. Now this isn't 14, this is 16. Maybe, yeah, probably 16. All right. Here's 16. Okay. I'll snug this just a little bit. Did it too much? Okay. So allow me to move it back and forth and provide some insurance as well, because if this is falling uncontrollably, this will hold it in place. Okay, just some insurance. So now, next thing to come off with these two, and then these two, okay, these 4 bolts need to come off so we can drop the exhaust. I'm only showing the top. This exhaust is all released. See, it's coming down. So the entire exhaust is off, you can see. Now, I did a bit of damage trying to take this off. You can see that here. Now the point I was trying to make is, the bolts that sit here, sitting at an angle that is so difficult that you could easily bend the bolts if you don't take care. Now if you bend them, it's going to be really hard to take them off, so just be careful. You basically need to come in with an extension so that it's basically perpendicular to this face right here. Okay, so like so, and then you've got to really be careful about how you kind of try to break that torque so that you don't stretch the bolt or bend it in the wrong direction. Okay, all right, but apart from that, it's pretty easy to take off. So now let's go get the heat shields off, and then we can pull the propeller shaft. All right guys, so now I have the exhaust off. Now I need to pull the heat shields, so let's do that. I believe this looks like an 8mm. It does look like so these are 8mm. I've got a 10 right here, so I need to go switch it out. These are 8mm. The studs, these are 8mm. So take that off. Oh, okay. Get that. Now this isn't coming off because there are 2 more 8mm. 8mm studs holding it over here, so I need to take those off. Maybe not. I need to pull these because it's still restricted. So it's underneath this one. You do need to make sure you have gloves on because this thing, the ends aren't too sharp, but they can cause damage.
This is where I end part 1. We will begin part 2 with propeller shaft removal. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and turn on notifications. See you in part 2.